Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Muhindo Mubarak and I welcome you to our other lecture of creating mobile application practicals, of learning how to create mobile applications, concentrating on practicals. In the previous lecture, if you've been following, we stopped at the point whereby we got introduced to packages of Flutter, and we also tried the toast package, and we were able to do something like this. Then we went ahead and implemented also the form builder package of Flutter, and we did something like this so I can collect the data from the user. So today we're going to go deep and learn more about these forms, or learn more how we can collect more data, different kind of data from user. If time will allow, also go ahead and learn the validation of data that has been collected from user. So that's what we're going to do today. So I hope you're all ready to face our today's journey. So if we are, let's get started straight to the business. So as you can see, I've already opened my app. So if it's your first lecture, please, I recommend you to find the playlist of these videos around on this video on top. Click on it. You'll find an eye on top of this video. Click on that eye, then you'll see letter I, then you'll see a full playlist. So when you click on that full playlist, it will take you to the all videos organized in the same list, so you can start following one by one. But otherwise, if you've been following, or if you have enough knowledge of Flutter, no problem, we can keep moving from this point. So this is the application that we've been doing, and I'm sharing my source code every day, and you can find the link of my repository in the description of this YouTube video. So you can click on that link, go ahead and look at my source code on GitHub of this very project. So previously we stopped at this point whereby if you click on this form field, you could get this form. And we are looking at different parameters that we can implement on the Flutter package form, whereby we looked at the name. We say this is the unique identifier of that field. We look at the initial value. We say that is the value that will begin with the form. As you can see, I already have this value. Then we also look at the read only. We say that read only will either enable or disable a user to type in that form. So right now we're going to proceed from there. I remember telling you that if you want to get more information about the possible parameters of a certain class in Flutter, just simply press Ctrl. Let me increase my font size so you can see things clearly. Hope they can see my source code much more clear. So I say that if you want to see more details about possible fields that you can attach on a certain class of Flutter or in a certain widget, just simply press Ctrl and hold it, then you click on that class. So it will take you to the original source code. So everything that you will see there will be the possible parameters that you can pass that field. So last time we stopped here on changed. So we said that on changed will take a function that will be called every time when a value is changed in that particular input. Let us say you want to make, for example, a live chat. So if you want to, when someone types, you get that value already without even allowing them to press the send button. You have to use this on change on the change method. So let us go ahead and try to see how we can implement it. So I'll come here to this second field, and then I put on changed. So on changed will take a function, so you open brackets and then you open curly brackets here and press enter. So this function, they will give you something. They will give you the value itself. So you can say maybe this value will receive it in this variable val. So every time something is changed, they will give you the value here. So in between here, you can do anything that you want. For example, I want to print the value straight to the console every time when this value, the user types something here. So if I want to do there, I can copy that and I just simply say print like this. Okay, so just this one I'm showing you, possibly you can use it to do anything. So when I save and then I expand my console here, I clean everything. So when I come here and I click on it, I can as well come again and clear everything. So I come and start typing. So if I say M, you can see the M is coming here. So when something changed, that method will be called. So if I say to Mubaraka, so you see, you'll see, it is here. So I can as well do like this so that you can see the difference. So let me put a string and then put $sign and put there the value. Okay, so that is how we can demonstrate unchanged. So if I save and then I start typing, so when I write KA, you'll see every time a letter is changed, this method is being called. So you can do that. Maybe when someone types something, you send it to the internet or you send it to your server straight in background. So that is how you can use unchanged, or you can use it to validate. For example, you don't want to allow someone to put a letter in their name. So what do? You keep on changing every time. You may keep on checking every time a user enters something. So if it is not right, you stop them or you show them the pop-up straightforward. For example, I can even use toast. If you still remember our toast, I can use toast to do what? To display each thing that a user enters. So I hope you've understood what is meant by unchanged. Unchanged will call this method and give you the value every time a certain value is changed in that what? In that input. Okay, in that input field. So I hope you've understood what is meant by unchanged method. So we proceed. There are still more parameters that you can look at. Again, you press Ctrl and click on this. We have looked at unchanged. This input decoration will come back for it. So we have looked at unchanged. We have looked at value transformation. I think this value transformation, they'll tell you whether it is capital letter or not. So is enabled. This one, it will allow you to block the input or not. So enabled, that input will be disabled totally. So I can just simply say enabled and I put false. So what does that mean? It means a user cannot even focus on that input. There is a difference between enabled and the read only. Read only, I can click on it. You can see it is clickable. You see, read only. For example, if I make this one to be read only, the first input, you see it's read only, and I make it true. And the second one, I disable it. So let us look at the difference between read only and enabled. So when I click back, okay, so I click here, you see, read only, it is clickable. I can click and then maybe a trigger event. But disabled to be set for, enabled to be set false, you cannot even click, you cannot detect a click. So read only, you will not edit, but you'll be able to click or select something. But disabled, you will not be able to do anything on it. Okay. So we proceed. You've understood the meaning of enabled and disabled. Let us look at another one. This is unsaved. It's also a method that will be called when someone submits a form. Then we have focus node. Focus node, in case you want to tie this one on a focus, that in case someone changes something, you should be able to listen to it. Then you have multilines. Multilines is the maximum lines that you can allow on a certain on a certain input field. For example, I can say max lines to be 1. So if I come here, let me make enabled to be true, and then I come say maybe max line, I say 1. So it means that when I enter more things, they will not allow me to do what? To proceed to the next line. You can see they cannot allow me to proceed to the next line. But if you say max lines to be 2, then you see they can allow me to proceed to the second line. Can you see that, guys? They can allow me to proceed to the second line. Okay, you see? So if I make it to be 3, then it means that they will give me 3 lines. So that's meant by max lines. Maybe you want someone to enter a story or a detail of something, you can give the max line of 3. Then we have obscure text. This one, in case you want to collect the passwords of the user and you want to hide some text, you can use this obscure. Let us create here another text field, and then we try to obscure something. We try to obscure the inputs. So I'll come here. Okay, I'll come here, and then I come and say maybe password. Okay, I can remove these other guys, no problem. We have demonstrated them. So so if I come here, you see my password field, still I can see everything that the user is typing. But assume that you want to hide, maybe you're creating a password field, you can use obscure text and make it true. Okay, so obscure text, that is when you see someone typing password and they're being changed to dots. So if you didn't know, now you should know it today. That is how you can do what? You can do the password inputs. Okay, see? So you've understood what is meant by obscure text. Let us look at more parameters. We have looked at obscure text. We can look at text capitalization. This one will help you to limit a user to enter specific what? To enter a specific case that you want them to do what? To enter. For example, I want the user to type something in uppercase or in capital letters. So I may not again force the user to do what? To do that. I can just simply come here and do what? Let me duplicate this guy, and maybe let us say maybe country. So I go ahead and put this parameter called text capitalization. Text capitalization, this guy, it will take this text capitalization and then dot something. So text capitalization dot, so you see dot sentences. So it means that every sentence, every beginning of a sentence, they will do what? It will be a capital letter. So if you say dot words, it means that every word beginning of a word will be a capital letter. And characters mean that all characters will be capital letters. And then values, it means that every value will be capital letter. So let us go ahead and try sentences. So if I try sentences, I save, then I come back and open. So when I click here, you see, if I type, for example, Muhindo, you see, the first letter is automatically what? A capital. And they say Mubaraka. So you see, the second letter is small letter. Why? Because we say that it should be making a first letter of a certain sentence. So how do I stop a sentence? By just simply putting full stop, and then maybe say John. You see, when I put full stop, automatically the keyboard is turned to capital letter. So those are things that you may need to put in at. You may need to look at when you're doing the app. So that is, it will be capitalizing what? Be the beginning of each sentence. Okay. So in case maybe you want to provide the user to write something that is detailed, you can do capitalization to sentences. Now assume that it is a name field. For example, a name field, so there it will be words. So the beginning of every word should be a capital letter. So if I come here and I put maybe Muhindo, you see, when I say Muhindo, everything is capital letter. When I put space and I say maybe space and say when I put space, automatically it will be changed what? To capital letters. Let me first save here. Words mean that every word will begin with a capital letter. Just because I'm using a laptop, so you cannot switch the emulator of a laptop. But if you're using a phone, every word will begin with a what? With a capital letter. So maybe when you're collecting the names of users, you may use text capitalization to that. So if you want everything to be uppercase, just put characters. That means that everything in the keyboard will be what? Capital letters. You see, every time I type, even though the keyboard is in small letters, automatically is in capital letters. So that is what is meant by text capitalization. So you can go ahead and learn more about it. So we have text capitalization. We're not going to look at everything. We have scroll padding. Then we have text align. In case you want to align text in a different direction, you can as well do that by simply saying text align. So you can guess if you take text align beginning with what? The capital letter and then dot. Okay, so if I say dot right, so what does it mean? It means that when the user will focus, the word will start, the cursor will begin from what? From the right side. If I put dot center, it means when the user will focus, the word will start, the cursor will begin from the center direction. So you can think creatively how you can use these different ideas into your idea that you may want to implement in your one. So we have autofocus. Autofocus means that when the user opens this screen, automatically it should launch or should focus on that field. For example, you see we have 4 fields here. But if I want the user, when he opens automatically, he should be taken to this third field. What do? I will just simply come back to my project, and then I come to this third field, and I put autofocus and make it to true. So if I save, now I come back, and when the user clicks, you see, automatically the third field is focused. Okay? So you may want a user to start somewhere. So you can do like that. You can do it like that by implementing autofocus. So let us look at more things. We have autocorrect. This one will help the user to give them suggestions or not. This one, the cursor width. Maybe you want your cursor to be very thin or very, very small. You can as well do that. For example, I say cursor width. I can just simply maybe say 5 according to your design. Okay. Let me see different inputs that I can. Cursor field. Let me see. So this is the color. Cursor width. Okay, I make it 5. So when I focus on this guy, you see the cursor is slightly thicker than the other. So maybe you want to make your own design and you have those ideas and you feel like if you make a cursor thick, it will be good for your users or for your application that you're designing. So it is up to your creativity, but the possibilities are what? Are there. Maybe you want it to be so thin. Okay? So you put 1 or you put maybe 0.5. You see? It will be super thin according to what you want. Okay? So I hope you have understood the meaning of cursor width. Then you have cursor height. You can guess cursor height. Cursor height is the what? Is above the height. Then you have keyboard, cursor color. Do you finish cursor color? Cursor color is the color that you want. So cursor color, then you say colors dot maybe red. Okay. Colors dot what? Dot red. So it means that your cursor will be red. You can as well change the what? The shade. Okay. Maybe you want it to be 700 or maybe you want it to be, that is very dark red. So you can do all that. Okay. Let's look at more possibility. We have styling. We'll look at styling. Then you have the controller. Then we have the keyboard type. This is very important. The keyboard type. So the keyboard type is the kind of keyboard that you want to show to your user when they're editing this field. Okay. So to do that, for example, let's say you're collecting phone numbers from users. So I'll copy this guy and implement him here. Let me say I want to collect phone number. So I say phone and then say number. So it means that the keyboard, I'm expecting the keyboard only to be what? To be letters. Otherwise, if I collect the phone number from users and I give them this plain thing, they can even put wrong what? Wrong information. But if I want the keyboard of the phone to be set to specific field that I want, there I will have to implement a thing of what? Of keyboard type. Hope you guys were there. Generally, guys, you're there. So we're looking at the keyboard type. It says sometimes you may need to limit your users what they can type in. For example, you're collecting phone numbers and you show everything. So that is a bad user what? User experience. So what you do the keyboard type here. Keyboard type, it will pass keyboard type. You can guess it. If you don't know, just press Ctrl and click on it. They will give you the type. Okay, so it will text input type. So in press text input type dot. So if you want the keyboard that collects the names, so you put dot name. If you want the keyboard that collects numbers, you just put dot number. So it means that when the user will come back and focus on my field, you see, when I click there, they are showing me only 4 numbers. Please mute me your microphones. Can you see the keyboard that they are showing the user? He has no way he can type the text. So that is the advantage of what? Of keyboard type. Maybe you may want the user to get a right keyboard, a keyboard of date time, a keyboard of date time, for example, date time, date time. So what does it mean? It means that when the user will focus, we'll show him a right keyboard for the date and time. You know, date cannot take letters and the rest. So you see, they give you either you want to separate with comma, or you want to separate with what? With those. So that's the right keyboard for the date and time. There is more things. There is URL. So if you want to give a good keyboard of URL, you want the user maybe to enter a link, you can use that keyboard of URL. So the keyboard of URL, you see it has a dot something. If you want the user to enter an email, you can as well use the keyboard of what? Of email. You see? Where is it? Email address, it is here. So it means that when the user will focus on your interface, you see, they are giving you the art here. So they'll give the user the right keyboard that they can use. So I hope you've understood also that. So if I tell you to demonstrate that you understood it in different fields, go ahead and put the right keyboard for collecting the name, right keyboard. Someone should mute their microphone if you have nothing to say. You'll have the right keyboard for collecting the name. You'll have the right keyboard for collecting phone numbers, right keyboard for creating emails. I hope you've understood that. So let's look at another parameter. We have another parameter, max length. Max length is the maximum letters that you want to allow the user to do what? To enter. For example, if I come and say maybe maximum length should be maybe 10. I mean maybe 5. Max length. So I can just simply say max length and then make it 3. Okay? So it means that when the user will come here to this input and start entering some value, you see, we will start counting for him here. So when he type 1, see, so here, you see, I cannot type beyond what? Beyond 3. Let me come back and I'll show you. So when I start typing in this field, I cannot type beyond what? Beyond 3. Someone should mute if they don't have something to say, please. Let me see who is that. Peter, can you mute? Peter, mute your microphone. Peter, can you mute your microphone, please? It's the guy there. Peter.
Actually, sorry, it was 53.
Peter, can you mute your microphone? Okay. This guy is spoiling our class, and I don't have admin. Hey. Okay, so, guys, I hope you've understood what's meant by max length. I can as well maybe come and put here 10. Okay, so all those are good user experience. So the user will see he has 10 characters here. So when he starts typing, we will count down. When he reaches the maximum, even though I keep entering something, the keyboard will not allow me. So that is max length. We have on editing is complete. So this one is the method that will be called when the edit is complete. On submitted, this one will be called when we have submitted the form. Then we have cursor radius. That is the one that will change the radius of this cursor. So they give you all those parameters. So if you come and say maybe cursor radius, okay, I can say maybe 5. So that's So we have, if you want the input to expand, you can do that. Min lines, you can limit the minimum lines. You can also implement on tap. On tap is a method that will be called when the user does what? When the user clicks on an input. For example, you want to know when the user has focused on input, so you can implement this on tap. So they are all there. So one more thing that I would like to show you that I'm not seeing is the action from action. Let me see if it is here. Text input action. This is the final thing that I need you to understand very well. So, for example, you want to collect multiple information from the user. So, it is good experience to give the user the right button here. Okay. For example, if I'm entering text and it is maybe expecting multiple lines, of course, I can use the enter to enter that. But for example, maybe I'm collecting, maybe this is a phone number. Okay, so I'm entering and I want to go to the next field. So instead of allowing the user to click on it, the fingers are always close to the keyboard compared to the screen. So what you do, it will look great, or it will be great user experience if you make use of this key that you're seeing, what we call action key. So the action key will help you to tell whether the user should skip to the next or to have completed. Let us see how we implement that. So I'm going to come to this field, this second name. Okay. So I want when the user finishes to enter the name, he should go next. Okay. We should show here the next button, other than saying when you click here and then the keyboard is hidden and then the user comes and click here. That's not good user experience. We want when the user finishes to enter the password, he clicks here and he's taken to this next field automatically. So how can we do that? Let us come here to password, and we do that by using text input action. Okay. So text input action will also take a method from a class of text input action. This one. So when you press dot, you will see different actions that you can have. Okay, different actions. So for example, I want the user when he finishes this key, you should take him to the next. So I'll just simply put dot next. So when I save and I refocus here, you see when I'm typing password, I finish. Can you observe this key? It is no longer the check, it is now next. So when I click there, it automatically takes me to the what? To the next input. So since this is not the last input, I can as well also come here and implement the what? The next here. So the user will click here, he enter, and then he clicks here, he go to the next field, other than him coming here back and click. Okay. So I want this last field, after he finishes enter the number, it should be done. So to do that, you just simply come to the last field and then you say text input dot, then you put dot done. So dot done, it means that when he finishes entering, it will hide the keyboard. So let me begin from here. So here, I enter my password, I click here, I'm moved to the next field. Okay, and I finish and I click here, I move to the phone number. And you see when I finish entering phone number, the action button has changed to done. So the keyboard will hide. So those are the good user experience that you may need to implement when you're doing what? When you're doing real world application. Though it will work without even the action button, but you know it will be bad user experience for the user to come back and click on top here, other than making use of this button. So always remember that you can make use of what? Of that button. So there is dot done. Let us look at more. Then there is next, this new line. So if you see the new line, so it will allow the user when he finishes. Let me use this second guy. You see when he finishes entering something, he can print and it enters new line. But because it doesn't support multiple lines, it will not allow that. So we have dot new line. Another one we have dot new line. We have dot search, so it means that this will be a search icon. So in case you're implementing a search field in your application, you can use dot search here. So the user will get it as a dot search other than coming back on top here. So those are action Those are action buttons that you can implement in your application. So let us proceed to another item, that is the decoration. We are going to look at how we can now put maybe the labels and how we can decorate this item in a different way. Okay, so let us do that by creating a fresh screen. So I'll simply come to our input here, our screens. Okay, let me just look for this. By the way, if you want to come to this file that you've opened, you can as well click here. It will take you to the straight file. So I'm going to put decoration, copy and paste. So I'm going to say form decoration, and I'll copy the text, the class name, and then come and paste it here. Paste it there, and then I'll come and add it to our main menu. So my main menu is here, my main file, and then I'm going to add here form decoration. So I'll duplicate this guy and come and say form decoration. So I'll come here maybe and put maybe some detail. Okay. So after doing that, I'm going to put here the class so that when someone clicks here, it should be taken to this specific screen. I forgot to write the word screen on it, but it has no problem. But it's good to always put the screen on screen, the word screen on screens. So I save. I can change maybe the icon here and say maybe I can do something maybe. What one should I put? Let me put this guy like that. Okay, so now if I come back, I click on this form decoration, it takes me to this input. This field of form decoration. So let's go ahead and we'll change the title here to form decoration, and also remove unnecessary unnecessary input. Maybe we can decorate one can be enough. So I can remove others. I just duplicate the other screen. So we have two. These two can be enough. So I'm going to show you how we can decorate these forms in different way. So the first thing, if you want to decorate your form, let me first remove this initial value. If you want to decorate your form, I want just to have a simple input, first name and last name. Now, if you want to decorate your form, you'll have to pass this parameter. Press Ctrl space and write decoration. Okay? So press Ctrl and click on it. It will take you to the possible decoration that it takes. So it takes the decoration, the class called text decoration, input decoration. So you come and say input decoration, then open bracket. Okay? So in open bracket, this bracket is going to take a lot of parameters. Sometimes we even decorate only one time and then we implement it on a different form. And I'm going to show you how we can do it. How you can do that, because you may need your application to be consistent. So instead of you repeating the same decoration, you can design a theme, or you can design a simple decoration for your input and then you keep on reusing it. I'll show you how to do that. But here the main point is, when you want to decorate a form, you have to pass decoration and then input decoration. So let us start looking at the possible parameters that we can implement here. If you want to know the possible parameters, just press Ctrl and space, then you start seeing the parameters. Or you can just simply press Ctrl and click on it, and then start seeing the parameters. The first thing is the icon. So this is getting interesting. So I'll just simply come and say icon. So let us see what icon can take. So if you want to see what icon can take, just press Ctrl and click on it. You can see, and then click here. You can see an icon can take widget. So you can take any kind of a widget. But to be fair, let us put here an icon. Though you can put text. For example, I can just simply put text here. Okay. and say my icon. Okay, I save. You see, my icon has come here, but that does not make sense. But you can use it in that way. Here, the main point here, they're showing that if you implement an icon, it will come in that position. So I'm going to put there an icon. So to put an icon, just write icon, and then you know what to pass an icon. You just say icons dot, then you have different icons that you want. So maybe you can say maybe a user. You see, user picture here. Okay, so I can implement that. So you see, I have that beautiful thing with simplicity, with no hassle. Okay, so I can do that. So there are more things that you can implement. Let us look at more things that you can implement. I can just simply come and say another parameter. Press Ctrl and click on it. Icon color. So you can guess that one will change the icon colors. So according to your own creativity, your own design, maybe you want your icons to have the blue color. So I can just simply say icon color, and I just simply pass colors dot maybe blue. See, beautiful. It will change to blue. I hope. It did not. I don't know which color they meant there, but if you want to change it to blue, you can as well come here and pass color here, and then this specific icon will be changed to blue. So you can do that. You can see the icon has changed to blue. So let us go ahead and look at more parameters. Faster. We have the label. That is very important. I was expecting someone of you to ask me now, how do I label these inputs so that a user should know this is a specific input? So how do we label them? So I want the user to know. You see right now the inputs are plain and the user cannot tell that this is maybe where I write the first name or last name. So to do that, you pass it into the decoration and write what? And I write the what you call label. Okay, so put label. Okay, and then here in the label you can say it takes a widget also. So I can pass my text and say last name. Okay. Then I come here maybe also in the decoration here and I pass maybe first name. And I save. And you can see the label has come. I don't know. Okay, you can see the label has come, right? You can see the label has come. So first name, last name. So that is how you may label your input. So that when the user comes, he clicks there, you know that is the first input. He clicks there, you know this is the last name section. And you see the UI is really beautiful and organized. So we proceed with decoration. We have label text. The other one was label. So you still have another input called label text. So these guys, they give you full control. So label text, I hope it will take string. Yep. So maybe I can say last name. Let us see what you'll have. If I save, where will it? So you cannot implement two. You have to implement either label or label text. So you see, you can implement either label or label text. So here it means that in case you don't want to stress yourself by writing again a text, maybe you don't want to change the text, you can just simply put label text. So that maybe you don't repeat yourself. But maybe if you want to customize your text and have full control, maybe past the text styling, then you have to use label. But if it's just plain text, just put label text, then still it will work for you and save for you time. Help text, you see, these guys, they give us full control. Help text, you can guess what it means. So you can come here and put comma and pass help text. So help text, I can pass maybe enter, last name as it appears on your passport, maybe something like that. So this is the description, the help text. So can you see? That's beautiful. They will show it here. So here we just give it brief, and then here we give the full explanation of what the user should do, and with the right with the right font. It's beautiful, right? So we proceed. We're remaining 10 minutes. Okay, no problem. So we proceed. We have label text. Oh, press Ctrl and click here so that we can look at each. So we have label text. We have helper style. So this one will take the style in case you want to style maybe this help color. Okay, so I can just simply say help text and then can put your comma. So you press Ctrl and click on it to tell you the exact input that text. So it takes the text styling, you know it. Text styling. So I can say maybe text styling, and you know what text styling takes. Can take colors, can take everything. For example, text color, and I say maybe red, or maybe say maybe gray. Green. So if I save, so the help text, you see it is green. So you have full control. And maybe you say dot shade, green dot shade, and say maybe 100. You see it will look much more faded. Okay, so that is help text. Let us look at more parameters. Press Ctrl and click on the input decoration. Help text style, we have finished it. Hint text. What is hint text? Hint text is those who have ever done web. Hint text is what we call the placeholder. Is the placeholder. So let me put here gray. So placeholder is what we call the hint text. So hint text, you can just simply say hint text here, and of course you'll take a string because the text. Okay, maybe enter first name. So I save. Now that is the hint text. So if I click here, maybe let me focus here, you'll see the label. When you click on the input, they show the hint text of what exactly they should do. So I hope you understand that. We go to hint text, hint style. It means that you can also style that hint to any color or any decoration that you want. We have hint max lines. So in case your hint is too long, you can set its limit. Then you have what you call error text. Error text, we look at it when we are looking at validation. But error text is the warning. For example, I want to warn the user. Okay, maybe you entered wrong password. So you can use the what? You can use error text. Maybe I can just simply say wrong password. So when I save the error text, you see wrong password come here, and when it happens, everything will look red. So that happens only when the error text is set. Then we have error style. That is styling the error. Then you have floating behavior. We have is collapse. We have is dense. So is dense will check your input to either be smaller, relatively smaller, or not. So if I say is dense and I say true, so you see the input being collapsed. They will reduce on wasting of space. And you see, this one is dense, this one is not dense. So it is up to you how you want your design to be like. So if you want your input to be smaller, you can use is dense and set to true. Okay, so proceed. We have content padding. How far do you want your content to be from the edge? Okay, maybe you want to have maybe kind of paragraph. This should start from here. So you can do this content padding. Let me show how it is done. So I can just simply come and say content padding. And you can guess what it takes. It takes edge inset dot only. And then you can say maybe left should be 10. So it means that when the user starts entering, you see, the left padding has become 10. There is this free space. We have prefix icon. So prefix icon is the icon that will be at the beginning. Okay, at the beginning. And we have also prefix. So prefix is what should be here at the beginning. So if I come here and say prefix, and maybe I say maybe text, and say maybe my prefix. So if I save, you can see where the prefix comes in. So this prefix, you'll either put the icon or you put the prefix. I think if I remove icon, then I'll be able to see the prefix. You see? So prefix is the beginning words that the user will not do what? That the user will not be able to rub. Okay? You see? Prefix cannot be. So maybe I'm entering the name and I want there the word Mr. to be there by default. So if I put dot, so when the user comes in and he clicks here, see, when he clicks here, he say Mr. So I put Muhindo. This prefix, it will be there, but the user cannot remove it. So we have prefix. Let's look at more parameters. We have prefix. We have prefix text. So prefix text, in case it is a text and you don't want to suffer by writing text again, you can as well do that by just passing a string. Okay, so we have prefix style. In case you want to style this, okay, you can pass there your text styling. Suffix icon. Suffix icon is what will be at the end. Maybe your design, you want the icons to be at the end, not at the beginning. Okay, maybe your friend cheated your idea and he's copying everything that you're doing. So you may trick him and put maybe your icons on the opposite side. According to you, it's just up to you. According to your creativity, you may want your icons to be at the end. So there, you can do the suffix icon, and then of course you'll take you'll take a widget. So I can say icon widget, and then I pass icons dot something, maybe like this. So there are so many icons, and if you want to see these icons, just simply come here to Google material icons. Okay, search Google material icons. You'll find the cheat list where you can cheat all the names of the icons. So they are here. So in case you did an icon, you can come and search them and look at them first. So maybe you want this guy, just click on it. They will show you how you can access it. So here they show in Android, use .cycle. So if it means that if I come here and I put .cycle, I will have, .cycle, I have cyclone, I'll have that kind of an icon. This, I don't think I'm gonna write icons. So you can find any icon there, and they are right and they are right name that you can implement. Okay, so let us look at more parameters as we are concluding. We have suffix style, or how you want to style your suffix. Now you have the counter that we had previously. Counter text, the counter text that you want to display. So in case you want to override the one that Flutter gives you, you can implement these ones. Remember, for example, if I say maybe the max, if I come and say here, max length is 10, so I should not allow the user to enter a word more than 10. You see? So this counter is being decorated and displayed here. So if you want to override it, you see, it is reducing. So if you want to override it, you can override it by coming to decoration and implement counter. So it means there you'll have to write your own your own logic to reduce on these numbers when the user is entering. So we have field. So field, let us see what it does. I come to fields, put comma, and then I press Ctrl and click on it, and then click on it. So field is either true or false. Let us put true, and you see. So when I save true, you see the field will be kind of filled like it is filled with the background. Let me show you. Let me put here the space between so that you can see the difference. So to put the space between, I can simply come here on top and implement a widget called sized box. Okay, so that one I had not shown it to you, but I should know it now. Sized box will help you to space things. So you can give an 8 and then maybe say it's a 10. So it means that between this guy and this guy, they'll have the 10 pixels between them. So can you see? You can design such a beautiful input. So if I come here and I click, you can see it's filled. It is having some kind of fill or the background inside it. Let us look at more parameters. We have looked at is field, fields. Wait, okay, click on decoration. We have looked at is field. Fill color. So maybe you want to design that one should have maybe some kind of blend some kind of color that blends with your design. So you can just simply come and say fill color, and just simply say colors dot what, since our theme is blue, so you can maybe say shade 100. So it will be blue but slightly slightly lesser blue. So that may be your user. So imagine that all your interface is looking like this. So it means that your things can look much more beautiful. So let us look at more input. So I've looked at fill color. Then what next? Toolbar options, mouse. I think that's enough. I wanted to look at border styling. You can come and explore more. Text align, you've already looked at this. Maybe you want the text to be on left or right. You can do that. So you can come and play with it. Okay. Keyboard appearance. I don't know what that one does. Cursor radius. Okay. So maximum length. We have already looked at that. So we can go ahead and look at border. That is very important that you have not looked at. So you can design your border in a specific way that you do what? That you want. So to design a border, just press Ctrl and click on it and then click here. You'll see, you'll get what you want here, input border. So that is the trick that you can use to learn Flutter, teach yourself Flutter. Just press Ctrl and click on it. Then they'll show you the possible class that it takes. So this text border, if you press dot, I don't think it does that, but it takes parameters between it, I think. So here, in this text border, what does it take? Let us see, it takes border side. What does border side take? Border side, so it takes border side also. And then you can pass here. I don't think that is the right way. Input border. Let us try to put border and pass border.all. Then maybe color and make it red. Why is it not allowing? Let me see. I want to design our borders. It takes input border. This input border, what does it take? Shape border. So input border dot. Now the trigon. So if I pass here something, does it allow? No. That's what this light is saying. Constant modifier, annotate. Press Ctrl and space. That's border for another day. I'll first do my homework. But you can change also what? The border styling. So with that much said, that is how you can decorate your input. But when I give you the task, I'll ask you to go ahead and make some research about the border styling on these inputs. So let us proceed to other inputs in the remaining 7 minutes, and we see other different kind of inputs. So that in the next class we know will come just straight for input validation. Okay. So let us look at other different inputs. So to do that, we just simply come to Google and search Flutter Form Builder package. Okay, just search Flutter Form Builder and then click on the first search result. Then these guys will show us possible inputs that you can implement. So here they are. So I've looked at the text, we have exploited it. Let me take you maybe to more 3, and then the rest you can do by yourself. We'll do it as a task, because most of these things are straightforward. Let us look at Form Builder, the checkbox. So I'm going to, I think I should just, okay, let us maybe put here another class, another screen where we're going to put maybe other inputs. Okay, let's put here another screen where we're going to put other inputs. So to do that, I will just duplicate this one. Okay, so I'll copy this guy. You can press here to go straight where you are. I'll copy this, copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'll say maybe form other fields. So that's where we're going to demonstrate other fields. Then it's better to put the word screen so that you can differentiate it from others. Press OK. Then come here to where there is form decoration. Search everything. Ctrl F. Press Alt and Enter and paste. And then change the title. And then maybe put other fields. Okay. So after doing that, let's go ahead and add these other fields into our menu here. So we'll just simply come to our main. and then come and duplicate this guy. Okay, so I'll select it and say Ctrl D to duplicate. Then I'll come and change the title and say maybe form other fields. That's where we're going to see how you can collect the date, etc. So maybe I can put the relevant icon of other, I don't know, maybe you can use this, maybe other houses, I don't know. Okay, and then maybe other, the description, other input fields, and then we change this class to the screen that you want to navigate to. So I save. Now the guy should be on bottom here. You see, other fields. So when I click on other fields, I'm able to go to form other fields. So let's go ahead and modify and practice maybe some more fields in the remaining 5 minutes. Maybe I'll show you the date. That's the most important. Maybe other ones I'll give you them as an assignment. So I'll come and remove some other these existing fields. Okay, but the decoration can be the same. So decoration, it can be exactly the same. So let us look at how we can pick date, for example. So the date picker, I'll just simply come and say we can use drop down, you can pick date, and all these examples are already here. Just simply click here on example, you'll be able to see each and every example for these different inputs. So let us conclude by date picker. So I'll just simply come and say form builder date picker, copy the class, and then come and implement it here. Okay. So this date picker, of course, it must take the name. That is the first parameter that you must pass. So maybe TOB, date of birth. What else? We look at now different fields. So if I save, the date picker will be there. So if you want to pass maybe the name, maybe date of birth. So it means that you have to pass some decoration. Okay, pass some decoration. In the next class, I'll show you how you can reuse decoration, how you can reuse the same decoration or different fields, so that you should not repeat yourself in when you're designing your user interfaces. So I'll come and say DOB, date of birth. Okay, so if I save, it will be there, date of birth. I can change the relevant icon to calendar. So when I save, now when I click here, before even I do any hassle, when I click here, the field will show me the calendar picker. That is beautiful, right? So I can click there and say, click the time, and then it will pick for me the date and time. So let me show you most important things that you may need when you're doing date picker. Sometimes you may need only to pick the date, okay? Sometimes you may need to pick only the date. So if you need to pick the date only, what you do, you implement this, is it keyboard? I think it is keyboard. I don't know. Let me see what it is. Maybe you want to pick the date only. I think it is keyboard. Let me see. Keyboard. To take which parameter? Input. Text input type. I hope it's that. Then no, it's not that one. I want to show you. For example, it is picking both date and time. I want to pick only maybe date only, not the time. We have to limit it. Okay, let us cheat. And this is an example. So come here to examples, and I search the guy. It is here. So here they have the initial value. Okay, you can as well say the initial value. Maybe you want when someone opens, by default it should show the today's date. So if you want to do that, just pass this guy. Initial value, date time, dot now. So when the guy will come for the very first time, you'll see what? You'll see the today's date. Okay. Now we want to pick only the date. It is here. Input type. Okay. Input type. That's what I was looking for. Input type. So come and say input type. It will take input type dot. So if you say dot both, it will pick both and type, date and time. So if you say dot date, okay. So dot date. So when the guy will come and pick, when the guy will come to pick, let us come. You see dot date. So you see it is showing only the date only, as well as when someone is picking, he will pick the date only. Okay. You see, he picks the date only without the time. If you want to pick time, maybe you want to pick the time. Okay. So you put dot what? Dot time. The input type to dot time. So when this person will click there, instead of showing him the calendar, we'll show him the clock, and this person can as well type in case they don't want to pick. They can as well type, maybe they say 9 p.m. and then 9:30 a.m., something like that. And they say okay, the value will be filled there. It is not like that because I had not I changed the field without restarting the screen. So you see, I can come and say I can change maybe 7:15 a.m. I save, which is showing that. So that is the date picker for you. If you want to pick both, just simply put dot both. Then the remaining things are straightforward as I've demonstrated. So our time is up, and I think we have covered enough according to a lecture. So in the next lecture, we'll now come straight and start the form validation and the data collection. For example, right now we have just looked at different fields, but we have not seen how we can collect those fields. So in the next lecture, we'll begin now by see how we can collect now those values from the fields. And also maybe we can also go ahead and look at some more remaining input fields. Though I recommend for you to try, because we already have examples for each of them. So I recommend for you to teach yourself because it's not good to be spoon-fed everything. To choose yourself the rest, and I'll give you the task that you should try. Then the next class we'll just come straight and look at what? At the data form validation. So that makes our today's class. I hope it was helpful. And